We bought every office chair on Wired's new best office chair list, and I gotta be honest, the top 2 of 4 picks feeling a little bit scammy. So is this a scam list? Let's jump into it and find out. First up on the list is Branch's newest chair, their Ergonomic Chair Pro. They're actually calling this the best for most people. That's a pretty big claim there. Robert, you actually reviewed this chair quite extensively. What do you think on this pick?
Yeah, so they call this the Pro because this is their newer version of the chair, and they did make it a little more thicker padding, or what feels like it, but at the same time, I sink right through the back of this seat. Not like it takes time, just right away. My butt sinks and I hit hard in the back of the seat.
My problem with the pick overall is just that it's always Branch. And so that always brings these lists into question for me. When your previous pick was a worse version of the Branch, and then you replace it with the brand new Branch, truthfully, I don't hate this new chair and the new pick best for most, because I assume that they're trying to find a price range that most people can afford, and that's why we're not seeing just a really, really good chair here like the Leap.
They just put the newest one in there, boom, plugged it in. I'm assuming this has a lot to do with some kind of kickback affiliate. Again, nothing wrong with affiliates, I don't think here. It's just, is it a good pick? Then there's question marks on the affiliates for me. The second up on this one, what they call runner-up best pick, they had to jam that other ergonomic chair in there from Branch. Right. I mean, seriously.
And another thing that I have to question about the list is the reviewer himself. The reviewer of these chairs is 6'4". It's stated numerous times, and his wife is 5'1". He states that numerous times, but somehow all of his picks fit both his wife and him. That's impossible. He should be in the tall category. He can't even fit in the first 2 chairs that he's presenting here.
Still not sure which chair is best for you? Check out our cheat sheet listed down in the description. Download that guide and find the best chair of all the chairs in the market. So the next pick, they call it the upgrade pick. We're going with a gesture here. So as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely a huge upgrade over these 2 Branch chairs without question. But again, in this one, I have a question mark for me personally, because I do feel like this is actually one of the most returned chairs from Steelcase's lines, because of the fact that it doesn't necessarily feel what I think people expect it to feel, especially in the seat. It's kind of questionable here, just from my perspective, that the gesture, yes, is the most popular, but is it the best pick from Steelcase, and is it the best upgraded pick? Because there's other options here.
In my opinion, the reviewers never use the gesture. Based on what he said about the gesture, based on that they have a stock photo of that, whereas they have photos of the other chairs that they've used. I think that he's picking it because most other lists pick the gesture. It's a sexy pick because it's the gesture. And like he says, it's not $2,000 like the Embody, which is what he probably would have picked. Again, I don't love reviews from people that have never used products or for people that don't fit in the products that they're reviewing.
So next up is best for airflow. So essentially we're looking at a mesh chair. Steelcase Carmen, not a bad chair, I don't think, by any means. But here's the question I have. Best for airflow. There's a lot of mesh chairs that are true mesh chairs. This is one of the only mesh chairs that actually has a padded seat underneath the mesh, which actually kind of contradicts the whole airflow thing, if you ask me. And again, this person's 6'4". That's one of the shallowest seats we've seen on ergonomic chairs. I know, Robert, actually, being your 6'2", you found that to be a little bit shallow, didn't you?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the reason. When was the last time we even brought the Carmen in a video? It's like we really don't talk about it much because it has some of these big problems. Like the seat depth is a huge problem for me. I absolutely love the backrest. It's maybe a S-tier backrest on the Carmen. But the seat is so short that I just can't even sit in it, which is very unfortunate. And then, like you said, it does have that pad, so you're not actually getting the airflow in your butt. It's like you're sitting on a cushion. So.
Right.
And the backrest also has a little bit of fabric to it too. So in terms of airflow compared to every other mesh chair, it probably has the least amount of airflow of almost any mesh chair that we've brought in. It wouldn't be my first pick.
All right. The next pick on this list is the Herman Miller Embody, a luxury pick. Now, I think we can all get on board with this pick, right?
Yeah, don't have to talk about this pick much. Great pick. It's one of my few S-tier chairs. If you're going to pick this for any title in any list, I'd be up for it. So, yeah, great pick.
Robert, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just a pretty standard pick. We know that not everyone, a lot of people love this chair, so this is a pretty natural, easy pick.
Next on the list, it's a classic here. It's the Staples Hyken. Now, I think this is funny. We actually just did a video, or Ryan did a video, and it's about the Hyken versus the Dexley chair. Now, this is their best budget chair, okay? Your thoughts, Ryan, after having an opportunity to try what is potentially not even the best pick from a budget standpoint within the Staples store?
F tier.
Okay, that's it. One funny thing I got to say, I don't know if you caught this, but they don't recommend this if you need a wider seat, which is ironic, and you'll see that coming up here on the next pick. Robert, what are your points here on the hike-in?
Oof, yeah, I mean, we've all F-tiered this chair. It's just not just the comfort, but it's also the quality of the materials and everything. I mean, we've found chairs that are similar price that are much more comfortable, or even the Tacova chair is cheaper, and we would definitely prefer that over this. I mean, that's like a C-tier chair maybe. You can do so much better than this.
This is another one of those picks where I do not feel the reviewers ever use the chair. I think it's just one of those picks because it's a popular chair and it hits a price point that they're trying to cover. But some of the things that he says about the chair, like complimenting the build quality, while then following it up by saying that his coworkers have let him know that the mesh is saggy after a couple years, I'll leave it at that. I would just say, don't buy the hike-in.
So I thought it was really funny because the next pick, Autonomous Ergo Chair Pro, they picked this one if you need a wider seat. The irony here, it's a 19-inch wide seat. Oddly enough, is actually wider than the Autonomous Ergo Chair Pro. An Aeron or a Leap chair or even the Gesture, I think those are all going to be 19 plus. So you could literally close your eyes and pick a chair if you need a wider seat. And honestly, I really wouldn't pick that Ergonomic Chair Pro.
Yeah, if you're going to close your eyes and pick a chair, don't pick the Ergo Chair Pro.
Take that out of the list.
That's bad.
There's a couple other picks in here that we just don't even talk about. Just quick, one for easing back pain. It doesn't include a backrest. The irony there is quite significant. Then there's the best for aesthetics. It's a Herman Miller Zeph chair, which I wouldn't recommend that for anyone now. I haven't sat on it, but very interesting pick. Best for tight spaces, an armless human scale path chair, arguably one of the most overpriced chairs on the market. And then, of course, we're going to go to our last pick that we're going to touch on. Herman Miller Aeron, buy it used. Now, my take right on this one, first of all, they don't recommend buying new, okay? Right. But they boast a 12-year warranty. Robert, tell me why that's a problem when you're buying used.
Well, you're not going to get that 12-year warranty. It only goes with the original purchaser. And if you find a used Herman Miller Aeron, it's like 95% of them on that you see are all the classic. So those are older than 12 years anyways. So you're not getting the remastered version when you find these used. And if you do, it's going to be much more expensive. So you're going to have a really hard time finding an Aeron.
It's funny, too, because he references that most people are still wanting to buy the Aeron Classic, and it's being bought so much, and that's just simply not true. The Aeron Classic hasn't been made for almost 10 years now. That's why it's completely outdated. That's why we F-tier the chair, or Robert C-, whatever he gives. So recommending to not buy new and to only buy used is a huge disservice to the community, in my opinion, because the new Aeron is a massive, massive upgrade. Don't get the Classic, guys. Don't get the Classic.
So is this list a scam? I don't know. You make that decision. That's up to you ultimately. Do you have a different take on some of these picks? Let us know in the comments. And again, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.